Yeah, I know. In episode 19, we talked about how to beat your goals every time. And here we are in episode 20 talking about why you should never set goals. Wait, what? You're listening to Idea Charger Radio. Hey, welcome back, Success Chargers. And you know what? It's that time of the year. Merry Christmas. You know, we're just a couple of days away, so if you've got some last-minute shopping to do, get out there and get it done. You're going to run out of time. You really are. Now, I have that, what we call the consultant's calendar, and I'm pretty well off here for the next few weeks, so there's going to be a lot of just hanging out with friends and family and watching a lot of college football and just having a good time relaxing here at the end of what has turned out to be one of the most spectacular years I've ever had. I'm truly, truly blessed and excited as I just sat down and did some of back of the envelope calculations here. And, you know, at our house, it's been a pretty darn good year and we feel pretty good. And I hope for you that it has been the same. And if not, we're going to talk about it. You know, last week we had a conversation about how to beat your goals every time. This is the time of the year when everybody seems to be thinking about goal setting, right? And, you know, I was reminded just within the last couple of weeks, we went to my wife's company Christmas party, and maybe this played out at your company Christmas party or your spouse's company Christmas party as well. You know, the leadership of the company got up to do some annual recognition. They do, you know, some of the various departments and people that did quite well and their peers vote, you know, who was the employee of the year in these each different divisions and areas of the company. And that was very nice. But then there was this awkward moment where one guy was like, they were talking about how great he was, what an awesome employee he was. They really wanted to recognize this guy for going above and beyond. You know where he was? He wasn't at the dinner. He was at work. Work! Oh man, come on, what a faux pas. If you're going to give an award to somebody at your company, make sure they're at the awards dinner. I mean, come on. You knew you were going to give it to them. Just make sure they're there. I think they'd appreciate that. Nobody likes to get the trophy afterwards, okay? You know, sometimes you see it on the Academy Awards where maybe they've recorded a little bit. That would have been cool if they just showed a video of this person saying, hey, sorry I couldn't be there. I'm getting some work done. Ha. And, you know, but hey, I really appreciate it. And it could have been personal, but instead it kind of came off a little flat. But what really struck me was the company had set some very aggressive goals for the year, and they had looked at something like, you know, 20% as a growth number over the previous year. Now, I don't know if that was top or bottom line revenue number, but you know, let's agree 20%, right? That's a significant jump over and above what they did the previous year. And the company did pretty well, but it looks like the numbers are going to come in somewhere in the neighborhood of 17%. And you know, there are certain areas of the company that you know, just are under a lot of pressure to get things done, and most companies are these days. A lot of organizations are just trying to get more done with fewer people. This company is oil and gas related, so as you can imagine, some of that business is a little tough this year. Although, well, we could get into the nuts and bolts of it. It doesn't matter. But the important thing to think about here is that you know, the leadership of the company got up and said, well, we had a pretty good year. We were shooting for 20%. And we got 17. So, you know, I'm sure if we went back and did it again, we'd get it right. Really? 17% growth year over year for something other than a, you know, brand new company is phenomenal. That's a very impressive number. Very few companies continue to get even double-digit growth year over year. I know in the early 90s, I worked for an organization that or late 90s, I guess, that was in that same kind of push. And we'd all look at each other and go, double-digit growth, how are we going to do that? And somehow we always did it. But it was always a push. But, you know, 17 versus 20%, all right, man, maybe it's because I'm a finance major and not an accounting major. I'm going to call that rounding. Okay? 17% is significant, all right? But he followed it up with, you know, and, you know, since we didn't quite hit it this year, we're going to raise the bar and we're going to almost hit it next year. You know, it's like, come on, because the underlying tone are some of the things that many of you that have got a corporate job you're frustrated with, maybe you feel this as well. Maybe you feel that every year they raise it up, every year they ask us to do more with the same or maybe even fewer resources than we had the year before. And I get that. Companies want to be efficient. I think that's very important. But what's frustrating to me is when I see an organization pick a goal that seems somewhat arbitrary or very grandiose, and they put it out there, but they don't follow it up with the commitment to all of the resources necessary in every area to be able to make a real difference. So let me kind of jump into this idea of why you should never set goals, which seems to fly in the face of what I talked about last week, but stick with me on this one, okay? So, again, we've been talking about this. Very, very often you hear a company that says, this year our goal will be to hit X million dollars in sales. Okay. I mean, I'm kind of guilty of this. I was just sending some notes back and forth, some texting back and forth to my wife, and we were kind of talking about where we were this year and what happened and how it all played out. And I kind of threw out, I said, I'd like to do double the business next year that I did this year. And this year was phenomenal. I mean, if I did this year again, maybe with 20% growth, I'd be pretty happy. But I have a big idea in mind. But I'm going to put in place a few things that we're going to talk about it here, because I don't want you to be setting goals that just seem to be pulled out of thin air, all right? And that's why you should never set a goal just arbitrarily. And so let me go back. You've probably heard me talk before. I had a client that I worked with a few years ago that just they fell into this trap of just finding no creativity in goal setting. All right? They had no real significant effort towards strategic planning. Forecasting was not done at all in this company very well. It all just seemed to be kind of a finger in the wind, and let's just kind of see where we think it's going to go. And we'd kind of pause it, and there was no real accountability, and we'll just see what happens. We'll see what happens when it all plays out. But, unhappy that this company's sales have been flat for a few years, this president of the company looked at me a few years ago and he said, hey, I just want more. I want more. We've been relatively flat in the U.S. for the past 6 years. I want more. Now, conventional wisdom, whatever that is, says that's exactly what a company president should say. They should always want more. Senior leaders in an organization should want more year over year. Okay? In fact, that's the same message that company president had said in each of the previous 5 or 6 years. But every time he got the same result, roughly the same amount of sales as he did the year before. Because it was just a goal. It was just a number. There was no substance to make it come alive. So let me talk about this. There's a saying that activity alleviates anxiety, right? Filled with the desire to achieve a new result, do you ever feel paralyzed and uncertain? I mean, I do. Research tells us that learning occurs in 4 stages. Now, we'll put a link in the show notes here to an article I did several years ago called Unconscious Competence, a lesson from Sesame Street. It's got the little video from the hole in the bucket Dear Liza guy. But we digress. So, as many of you know, I really like to ride bicycles. I can ride for miles and miles and miles and miles. And when one of my ambitions for next year is to get back on my bike and put some serious miles on that bike, like I did 2 years ago. This past year, I just got busy on the road and found lots of excuses not to ride. But I'm getting back on the bike, literally, and I'm going to do it. But you don't have to go back and reteach me how to ride a bicycle. Right? Now, I'm going to go through this experience teaching my little one. She doesn't know it yet. Don't tell her. She's getting a bicycle for Christmas, right? And it's like a real bike and, with some training wheels. And we're going to go through this whole experience. Don't tell her. Don't tell her. Okay, thanks. Help me keep it a secret. The important thing is that if you're stuck, you're not really sure what to do, take some kind of action in the right direction. I don't care if you're going to hit 17, 20, or 400% increase in your sales for next year. I want you to focus on every time you take a step saying, does this bring me closer to or farther from making more sales this year than I did last? Is it a big enough step? That's it. That's all I want you to ask. Do something even if it's wrong. And the reason I say that is because many successful ideas were the result of a failure-inspired aha moment. Give yourself permission to fail. Don't give yourself permission to sit still and be frozen and paralyzed because you're not sure what the next move ought to be. So do something, even if it's wrong. You will learn, get some feedback. Don't make a mission-critical mistake, okay? But don't be afraid to stick your neck out there, put your toe in the water, any other metaphor I could jam in here, and do something to move forward, all right? Now, let's talk about why you should put your energy in the right direction. Because to achieve big results, you do have to have a vision. That's different from a goal. A vision allows you to detach yourself from past failures and engage with an image of what a new success will look or feel like. All right, so go ahead. Get an image in your mind right now of success. I don't care, whatever it is, whatever symbol comes into your mind that is successful. What would be different? Ask yourself this. What would be different if you achieved success? However you define it. What would it look like? What would it smell like? What would it feel like? What would people most notice different about you? Success is a dangerous word. We ask people a lot when I do my interviews, what does success mean to you? Because I want you to see, we do that on purpose. I want you to see why different people see, or how different people see success in different ways. Okay. Now, I don't want you to get overwhelmed with these natural feelings of, but I don't know how to get there. I just want you to just take a minute, take some time during this holiday break, bask in the vision of what success will look and feel and smell. What will that experience be like for you if you enjoy success? If you achieve that significant growth in your business, if you are able to sell out of a business you don't want to work with anymore, you're able to get rid of something you don't want to do anymore, or you're able to take on more of something that you really want to see and experience there. Let me give you a minute to sort of think about that. All right, welcome back. That feels good, right? Right? Feels good, right? You feel good about that? Now, write down a list of just a few actions, just short term. What are some actions that you could take that would move you closer to that vision becoming a reality? Even if they're small steps, just put them down. For example, if you want a new job, then I want you to write down that you're going to apply for one new job a month or a week. That's it. That's all I want you to do. Okay? You want to lose those extra pounds you're going to gain over the holidays? Or maybe the pounds you gained over the holidays 4 years ago that you're still carrying around? Yeah, guilty. Look, just make a decision that you're going to go for a walk 30 minutes a day. I don't care. Don't go get a gym membership. If you haven't been going to the gym, don't do that. I want you to first get yourself in the habit of just doing something. 15, 20, 30 minutes a day. Go for a walk. If you do nothing else, go for a walk for 30 minutes a day. I promise you it will change your life. Because it'll start with a walk. Then you'll start jogging a little bit. Or maybe you'll walk a little longer. And then you'll want to run. And before you know it, you'll have run a half marathon and you'll tear up your knee and have to get surgery and get on a bike just like I did. Okay, let's hope you can do it without the injury. But I think you get the idea. All right. Now, something else I want to talk about that I want you to get past, and you hear a lot about this term called imposter syndrome, and we'll probably do a show about it later on. But look, here's the deal. We all feel like that we don't want to own our own expertise. We feel like, well, who am I to be the one who enjoys this success? Who am I to be the one who achieves this great goal or is known for something or experiences and deserves this great vision? You deserve it. You deserve it. Because the earlier you figure out that nobody cares about your success more than you, the better off you're going to be. Because that's where you can ignite that fire inside of you. I can give you all the know-how in the world, but I can't light that fire of desire inside of you. Now, technically, an expert is just someone who knows more than everybody else in their audience about a particular topic. Maybe that's you. Okay? You will have some expertise. Now, I'm going to go with I'm going to say it ought to go a little deeper than that. Okay. There's widely quoted research that suggests that for you to have mastery of a skill, you really need to have about 10,000 hours of practice in that skill. So if we go by that range or that idea, then becoming an expert truly is a lofty goal. Okay. Now, if you're counting at home, that's 12 hours a day, every day for 27 months. Right? Or 30 minutes a day for nearly 55 years if you have that kind of time. So most of us are somewhere in between those two extremes, right? So just think about that and think about what it is that you want to spend your time doing to build that expertise and that knowledge and be known for something, okay? Don't just gauge, though, how well that you're doing in a pass-fail mentality. Just track your progress. Okay, if that goal, right, that thing you're after is 30 minutes a day and you only went 28 minutes or you only went 12, that's fine. Write it down. Just keep track of it. And just challenge yourself. If you can't go 30 minutes because it's just too much, it starts with 12, shoot for 13. And once you hit that, shoot for 14. And then 15. And just experience the momentum. Celebrate the fact that you did more than you did before. That's okay. That's okay. Do a little bit more, but do it with enough frequency that you're constantly improving and getting better in a way that it becomes noticeable for you. I want you to focus on building new behaviors. No shortcuts. You can't just go out and walk for 30 minutes and go, I did it. I'm good. See you in 2017. No. You got to do this every day. That's the other thing that stops people. You say, well, I can't do this. I can't commit to do that 30 days. What if I do it every day for a week and then like I get up, Monday of week 2 and I just can't get out of bed. Then get up on Tuesday. But don't wait till Wednesday, because pretty soon a week or 2 will have passed and you wouldn't have gotten out of bed anymore and you've lost your momentum. Do the best you can with the resources that you have, but do something different. Do it intentional. Focus on the behavior. That's the common theme. When you go back and re-listen to episode 19 from last week, and I encourage you to do that. If you haven't listened to it, it's really going to be an aha for you. And if you did, if you go listen to it now, I promise you, you will hear something different than what I shared with you last week. And I'm doing it because I want you to understand that 2016 is the year of new behavior. You are going to be better, not because of some goal or accomplishment or something that you achieve, some artificial number, something that you hit. That's not how we're going to gauge your success. We're not even going to gauge your success by how much money you make next year. I want you to gauge your success by how much you enjoy what you do, how much progress you feel like you've met. That feeling of satisfaction you get when people look at you and they go, man, I don't know what it is about you, but something is different and it's good. What are you doing? I want you to feel the excitement of a pair of jeans that fits a little bit better now than it did 6 months ago. When you're able to go out and play all afternoon with your kids or go run around or go do something that takes a tremendous amount of energy or exercise to do, and you're not just completely worn out at the end of the day. That, my friends, is what it's all about. You can work as hard as you want to go make as much money as you possibly can. But if you're doing it because you want to spend time with your family and you're not spending time with your family now, when you have all that money, you're not going to spend time with them then either. Because you haven't learned to find that satisfaction. And that, my friends, is what we should be looking for, is satisfaction, not success. So focus on building these new behaviors. Think about what you're going to do different. If you're constantly and deliberately and intentionally taking steps to move in the right direction, that vision, even if you don't know what it is right now, will start to come into focus. You'll be able to identify, well, that's maybe a short-term goal I can go after. I can remember when I used to run a lot. And I can remember when I used to run, I'd be out on the road. And my parents for a while lived out in the country. So I would go sometimes out and I'd go run like a couple of section roads, which if you've ever been out in the country in the middle America, section roads are typically about a mile from corner to corner. And so we'd go out and I'd go for a run and I'd be out, running and, hoping that, somebody's porch dogs weren't going to come chasing after me, or maybe that some wild animal that's out in the woods or in the country wasn't going to come chase me down the road. And most of the time it was all right. I only got scared a couple of times, but no big deal. I just ran a little faster. But what I would always seem to do, and I would even do this when I was in the city back at my house, maybe on a running trail, is I'd see a light post or a power line that was up ahead, or a big tree up on the horizon, or a stop sign. And I'd say, I'm going to run it at a reasonable speed until I get to that. I would see that it was uphill, and I'd be like, oh, God, I do not have what it takes to go uphill. But I would focus on that. And sometimes I couldn't make it all the way. I just would I'd be, just puffing and wheezing and just couldn't get enough air in my system. It's fine, because I pushed myself. And as soon as I start to feel myself catching my breath, I wouldn't let myself rest. I'd push myself to start running again until I got there. Once I got to wherever that place was out in front of me, that mile marker, that goal that I had that was out there, I'd go, okay, and I'd stop maybe to a walk, but I'd keep moving, right? And I'd walk for a little bit, and then I would start looking for the next thing I was going to run towards. And I might celebrate the fact that the next time I was going downhill, which is pretty awesome, except when you are as big as I am. I'm like 6'3", 200 and, I'm a big dude. And I start moving downhill, gravity kicks in, right? And sometimes I can get moving faster than my feet want to keep up, and it ain't pretty, folks. It is not pretty. But it does feel a little easier, so you know what? Enjoy the downhills too. I know on my bike they can sure be a lot of fun, even though I've scared this snot out of myself more than once on a bicycle too. But we'll move out. The idea is focus moving yourself in the right direction. Those big, satisfying goals, those things that you're laying at bed and you're like, God, life is good. Things are really awesome. When you look at your spouse, your family, your friends, your loved ones, whoever you spend time with, your dog, your goldfish, whatever you got, when you're looking at those people, those friends, those close folks to you, and you say to yourself, yeah, this is what it's all about. That's when you know, folks, that you've done what you want to do. So, as you're looking ahead to next week, I'm going to have a very quick episode for you next week, so be sure to tune back in. I promised you every Tuesday, time's still passing, there's still opportunities to do good. We may lighten up a little, but don't worry, because right after the first of the year, we're going to fire right back up with a whole series of interviews. I've already got a couple recorded that I'm really looking forward to sharing with you. They're going to be great as you look at what 2016 can be like for you. But my challenge for you is enjoy some time with your family and friends and your loved ones here over the holiday season. And for those of you that may be spending some time alone, I want you to smile and just relax and enjoy the quiet. Know that those of us out here that are fans of yours are looking for you to have just a great time to just relax right now. And we're looking forward to 2016, seeing what you bring to us. Hey, if you feel so inspired, I hope that you'll post some big goal publicly. What's the big change? What's the big behavioral difference? Something you want to do different that you can put in the show notes here. So just go to ideacharger.com/episode 20. Spell out the word episode. Episode 20 at ideacharger.com. And just scroll to the bottom. Or if you like, put it at the bottom of episode 19 where we talked about how to beat your goals every time. Either place, put something there. And if you want somebody to follow up with you, you want to hear from me, hey, in 6 months, in 30 days, in 2 weeks, Scott, if you'll just shoot me an email, let me know what's going on. Hey, do that. Ask me to do that. I will gladly do that for you. Okay. Make sure that you hear from me to check in with you and make sure that you're at least making progress. Find an accountability buddy. It doesn't have to be me, but I'm throwing it out there. But if you post it in the online chat there or in the comment section of the show notes, I think somebody might be willing to maybe from the group become an accountability partner, and you can foster a relationship within the Success Charger community. So hope you take an opportunity to plug in. See what I did there? Charger, plug in. Yeah, you're welcome. All right. So, hey, share your big vision, and just, know that you posted it there. That discomfort that'll come from complacency, knowing that you put a big goal out there and then you're not doing anything about it, will actually inspire you to action. But don't worry, we'll follow up and we'll do more with you as well. So, hey, enjoy your Christmas week. Have a fantastic weekend. Hope you get opportunity to spend time with family, friends, loved ones. Go visit church if that's your thing. It certainly is for us, and we'll certainly be there this week. And hey, enjoy it. 2015 has been awesome. Relax. You've earned it. We're going to hit it hard next week. We'll be back in 2016. See you next year. If you enjoyed what you just heard, please post your 5-star review and subscribe to Success Charger today. Your future is waiting.